Okay. Okay. So yeah, you tell me what exactly you want to check about Spark. I mean, I see from Aman just as a beginner.
Yeah, I mean, can you get to the basics first and then let us know an implementations?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Ac-
I think we need to. So what I'm thinking now today, we will discuss at a high level plan, and then we can have a detailed discussion later. So that
Okay,
way, I will also give you some training material which I feel it's easy and good. Okay.
okay,
Yeah. See the Spark, right? Just to give some background, Spark is mostly used for the computing. Okay. So for processing large amount of data, Spark is much more powerful than Hadoop-like systems. There are multiple reasons because Spark is a cluster, right? And it has a driver and the worker nodes, and how much big cluster depending on the memory you set for that, it will do the processing much faster for you. So most of the data science related where heavy computation is required, mostly Spark is used. Okay, and then Spark supports multiple languages like Python, R, Java, Scala, SQL. Okay,
okay.
so if you know Python, right? So you
Yeah,
can write it's 90% Python code, but somewhat related to run your Python code on Spark engine, that is called PySpark, right?
okay,
Similarly, Scala also you can use to write a program and you can execute it on Spark engine. So that way, so mostly I used Python, so like PySpark. So that's how I use in my day-to-day project. Also, we use the PySpark only, and then using PySpark, we use also Databricks. Probably you might have familiar with that. So Databricks, another cloud platform which has an integration with all the major cloud providers like Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud. No? And then they provide all the computation resources which you can use, create a cluster, and whatever data you have, right, the data will remain as is. Say example, you are using Microsoft Azure, right? So you will have the data in ADLS and Azure Data Lake storage, right? Storage accounts. Data will be remaining the same place, but in order to do the processing, you can use Spark. So Databricks is the one of the best tools. It offers you the use the cluster and then pay only for whatever you use. I'm just trying very short thing now, but I have one course which I earlier gone through. Maybe let me share my screen and I'll show you.
sure.
Let me know once you are able to see my screen. Huh?
Yeah, it's visible to me.
Yeah. So see this Prashant Kumar, no, this guy, I mean, this course is very well. To be honest, I found it very easy. So uh, what I feel, you guys go through this course, and I
Okay,
think he has a free version also. Let me check quickly. Yeah, just a second. So this is Udemy course, right? So I think this
okay,
might be probably I don't remember. And then there is a YouTube version of the same thing. So he has explained Spark, its architecture, and then basics of this one, PySpark, very well. So my feeling is that if you guys go through this week, whatever your bandwidth, whenever you find time, no, daily 1 hour, 2 hour, you can go through this, and probably next weekend sometime we will plan sessions, and then we will discuss open questions. If any concept you don't understand, that we can discuss. I think that move would be more I mean that's better, I guess.
Okay. Uh, uh, so Yogesh,
Mm-hmm.
there is one thing. Actually, we are trying to implement a research paper here, and
Mm-hmm.
that research paper uses Spark data loader library and the use of Spark. So, one thing I want to clear it upon that, do we
Mm-hmm.
really need different machines to work on Spark? I mean, are those clusters necessary, or only one single computer can handle all the those things?
I will, yeah, this he also explained, but let me tell that also. Let me share this link. This is YouTube link. Okay, you see
Sure,
this one.
sure,
See,
sure.
this
Yeah.
has the same thing he has mentioned. This is free. Okay,
Okay.
so let
Okay.
me put it here. So why I'm suggesting this? He has very well organized actually. Okay,
Okay.
so already the diagrams, the way he explains some of the examples he did, and also let me put this first. Uh, Somehow probably let me back on that this one. So probably this one. Let me share this one. Okay, so now see Spark, right? It's a cluster. Now cluster can be one machine or multiple machines. When it's so in the cluster, the way the Spark is organized, right? The one is the driver node, which is doing all the coordination and everything, and then the actual work is done in worker nodes. And if you have a single machine, say I have a local machine here, I think probably I might have a Spark installed. Say, I think I haven't installed here. So you can install PySpark on your local machine, okay? And then it will take your machine as a driver as well as worker. So it will do everything in a single node. It's called a single node cluster. But if you want to do more processing, then it will you can build a cluster as you want. I will show that to you as well. One second. So you are clear with this, right? So you can install Spark locally on your machine. There is
Yeah.
a Windows version, and it's very easy actually. I think in the big data, is that Manoj? You recall in the big data some assignment we did set up, right? PySpark.
Yogesh ji, Manoj ji is in office and he has
Ah,
tested
okay,
that.
okay, okay. Okay, okay. So see, what we can do, maybe I will, in the next session, if you want, I can demo or show how to set up locally. But this course also, right, the YouTube one which I shared and this one,
Yeah.
he also shows the same step. So understanding, so he gives a background about the big data and all. What is
Yeah.
Spark? When Spark come in picture? Why involved? These details are also important to understand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he also helps you to set up the local Spark, and then you can use your local IDE, say example IntelliJ, VS Code, PyCharm, any IDE, right? And you
Okay.
can write a program in PySpark, and then you can run the cluster, which is your local machine. Okay.
So Hadoop is not important with while
No.
working with Spark, right?
Hadoop and PySpark are different. Huh? See, in
Okay.
the
Okay.
Hadoop, yeah, in the Hadoop, so MapReduce is the computing, right? See, in the Hadoop, there are two components. Okay. One is the storage is HDFS, right? Hadoop data
Yeah.
file system.
Yeah.
And then second, it's the computing, it is the MapReduce, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Spark is only computing, just
Okay.
pure computing. So the data, whatever you have, the data, it's completely decoupled. So that's what I was saying. No, see in our project, right? So we use Azure completely. We have all our data in Azure's storage account. We what we do is we run the Python code, which where our business logic is there, PySpark code, and that it will process the data directly on the Azure storage. And after processing whatever the curated data, it will put back into the Azure storage itself. So this is only
Okay.
pure for the computation
Okay. So
because
it's like a pandas library, right? It just
yeah, it's not
works.
library. It's altogether another programming framework. You
Yeah.
can say language. Pandas is one of the libraries, right?
So
But in PySpark, see in PySpark there are you can import libraries also. So all the Python libraries also you can import, and then you can write Python programs.
okay.
You got it?
I'm
See,
having some
normally you
time.
write Python program, right?
Yeah.
Normally
Yeah.
you do some import pandas or some other libraries, right? OS and some other specific or some libraries. You do all your business logic. You can run the same code in PySpark also. Only it will execute on the Spark engine, and then the Spark engine it will take care of the execution part because it does processing in memory, so it is much faster. Just to be given a short quick update now, see in general our data, see your code is there, right? In
Yeah.
general distributed computing, your data is going to one machine where it's being processed, right, where the code exists, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
But in Spark, data remain as is. Your code is going to the machines where the data is there and it will get processed. And also it is completely processed in memory, and that's how it is much faster. So they,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So I'm just trying to give very high level because I don't
Yeah.
want to confuse anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Spark is completely computational only. So you can use Spark with
Yogesh,
Hadoop. Yeah.
was here. Just one question here.
Yeah.
So when we say, I understand that you said data will be stored in one place, and then
Mhm.
Spark will act upon the data, and then it
Yeah.
will process the data, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, I'm just trying to understand, connecting the dots. So we said like we also wanted to set up the cluster for
Mm-hmm.
Spark, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I believe storage is a separate component, and
Yeah.
the cluster on which the Spark is installed, it is a separate component, right?
Correct.
And the memory requirement for the Spark is also should be very high, right?
Depends on workload. See,
Okay.
if you're installing Spark locally, it will use your local machines, right? Memory, whatever
Hmm.
is its driver. But in the Databricks, right? Example, if or in a cloud, see there are multiple ways. Okay, in a cloud, you can provision say 4 virtual machines. Okay, you
Hmm.
can you can consider one machine as a driver and 3 machines as your worker nodes, and you can
Hmm.
accordingly install Spark and make the configurations. And then it is your choice how much memory you want to give on each virtual machine. Probably you might give say 50, I mean 16 GB for driver, and then maybe 64 GB for each workers because they are the actual working, right? I mean they are doing the actual processing. So that is how you will do in the Databricks. Databricks is another right vendor which will provide this all easy way to help you to create a cluster. Okay, so there you can easily create a cluster, and it will you will let me show you if I you can see my screen, right?
Yeah. So actually, I was trying to ask one question. This like the data will be fetched from the storage, and the processing will happen in the clusters.
No, no,
Is
no,
that
no.
understanding correct?
No. Data will remain there as is. Okay. Data is there
Okay.
only. And this cluster, whatever the computing power, it will be used to process the data wherever it is. So you will just use the computational power on the data and then make it get it processed. You don't have to move your data because see the big data, right? The data might be in like GBs or TBs, right? And if you try to move data from one machine to another, probably that is not possible. So
Okay.
data will remain as is, and your code will work on that one. So you
Ah,
don't have to do
means
anything.
right, right. Because the data is going to be in the storage only, and our
Yes.
memory and then we configuration the clusters and all in the other cluster side. So I am
Yeah,
now
cluster
trying
you
to
can build.
understand
So if I
why
take some
this.
of the examples, see, I have a Hadoop install, okay, on my local machine, okay. In Hadoop, I have a HDFS,
Yeah.
correct? I can put some data, right? And then I can also install Spark. So now I have a Spark. I can use it to process the data which is present in HDFS. Okay, that is one option. Or in my local machine, which is simple testing POC, I can use the Windows Spark installation. My data is still in C drive, and I can write a Python program and refer the data on my C drive folder, and I can run on the Spark engine too. That's second. Also, you might have a Azure storage account where the data is there, right? So in one of the container, and you create a cluster, right? And that cluster you can point to that. I mean, you have to first obviously link to the data, and then you have to uh, connect to the cluster to that storage, and then you can execute on the same data.
So there is a buffer machine, I can say, which has both the worker and the data as well to process.
Can you say again? Can you say again?
There's a buffer machine between the data and the code that we want to run,
It
and
is
it
called
goes.
master. That's what, no, the cluster, no, the cluster, it has a master and the workers, right? So the
Yeah.
master workers, the job is to do the connection, check the request from the user, then assign to worker, and also keep on checking with the worker whether they have done their work, and then uh, submit up all the merge all the results, and then get back to the user.
Okay. Okay.
So there is no extra. See, you don't have to do anything. Huh? You just install Spark. So now in local machine, probably next session, no, I will try to set up something locally because I, yeah, and then I will show you to also some of the programs.
Sure. Sure. Sure, Yogesh.
Yeah. Now this just discussion is to what is Spark and all, right. So Spark is not like a Hadoop. It is like Hadoop has a HDFS and this one na MapReduce. And MapReduce is very slow comparatively. And you know it is very hard to write code in the MapReduce, right? Comparatively. But they claim Spark claims at claim it as it's much faster than like 100 times faster than other processing. And that it also uses the data frames. Let me show you some. I think data bricks. It's easy to committee. I don't use my personal one. Mostly, I do all my research or whatever it is in my office thing now. So
Okay.
verification code. So I'm just trying to create a cluster. It's there or not? Data bricks N4F F78. N4F F78. So this Databricks, na, this is a separate company. No, they are like a cloud provider. Like, so now I'm using Microsoft Azure here. I can create notebook compute. I have. I think. Yeah, this is different actually. Count cloud Databricks. Oh, this is little different, so I have to check on this one first because I don't see any compute or anything where I can create a this one. See what it is doing. I have to create a workspace. See. Oh, it is creating in AWS. So actually, I use Microsoft 8 when Azure. Oh, I have to do these things. No, probably I have to do that setup first. But I use Microsoft Azure Databricks. Okay, so
Okay.
there you can create a cluster, and then you can tell the cluster, okay, which how many machines you want, like one driver and 10 workers like that, and what are the configurations of the machine, and it will take another 4 to 5 minutes and it will ready for you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So one cluster can contain any number of worker nodes and sorry,
Yes,
what?
yes, yes, yes. Any number. So depending upon your workload, na, how much you
Yeah.
want to process and all, you can decide. But be sure, na, the more power you add or more high configuration, it will add your cost. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we also use very high
Yogesh,
configured clusters. Yeah.
do we have any guidelines as to how to choose the machine? So, since suppose
Mhm.
if we are working on a project and
Ah, yeah. Usually, usually we start with like very low machines and see how much it takes time and all, right? Because of the cost and how much time SLA you have. And then based on the few runs, we will see, okay, how this cluster is helping, how much time it is creating or taking to process. And if we want to process say much quicker, then we will just upgrade the cluster. So there are multiple ways,
it's
huh? You have
iterative.
iterative, yes, yes. Because every project, no, they have the different workload and the kind of logic you want to do processing also it depends, right? So based on that, initially you can just try it out few iterations to come up with agreement saying, okay, now this is within my SLA and I will go with this minimum cluster because you also wanted to make sure na, cost is less, right? Otherwise, you can just create a very high cluster and it will be done, but the cost is also important factor, right, for any project.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Yogesh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But for your learning, no, I think Spark is very good. PySpark is very good because most of the this big data computation is easily done using the Spark or PySpark. Yeah.
And Yogesh, I have another question. This PySpark is still having demand in the market, or I know that
Yeah.
Databricks is. I mean to say, like cloud version, cloud platform Databricks is, I think, might be having demand. But this big data PySpark, whether that is still on demand, like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, in the Databricks, you write a code in PySpark only. Or if suppose if you are not using Databricks, see most of the projects, right? It is not necessary you have to use Databricks. So in my previous assignment, okay, so we were not using Databricks, but what we did, we had our internal cloud provider, like a private cloud. We provisioned some machines, I think one worker and one driver and four workers, okay, five machines. We installed all the necessary software like PySpark and necessary other configurations, and that was our cluster. Okay, and but we were responsible for everything, for patching. If it is down, we have to make sure that what is wrong and fix it and all. And then we wrote some Python programs in and having a PySpark code, and then we deployed. in the Azure DevOps, and then we were executing those Python programs on that cluster. So without Databricks, we were doing that. You understood, right? What I'm trying to say, the use case.
Yeah. You mean to say on-prem cluster, right?
On-prem, you can say
Huge.
on-prem also. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
So for my company, that time they didn't want to go to public provider, but they had a private cloud. So internally, I could provision five machines, and then we set up a cluster. So we knew always what is the machine and everything one-time configuration. But in Databricks, it's up to you. Up to you. See, in my machine, when I set up right, then tomorrow if say I get a very high workload, then I have very big limitation. Correct? Because I cannot do, otherwise I have to again provision new machines, install the Spark on that, do the configuration, right? Those things, correct? But if you go with
Yeah.
Databricks, doing these things very easy. You just have to like multiple few clicks, and whatever you do, it's very easy, right? I will do check my account, like my Azure account. Next time I will show you. I will create a cluster. I will do some dummy small code, and I will show you. So it's a lot easy actually. But it is not necessary you have to
Okay.
use Databricks. Databricks is one of the option that Databricks company gives you, like use their computing clusters and do your processing and pay whatever you use in a very simple language. But you can always do the provisioning of your machines on your own. Only thing, you are responsible for all the patching, everything. Tomorrow the workload increases, it's you have to make sure that you are adding enough power. Example, you have to upgrade the machines configurations like a memory, or you have to add more workers, depends on the need, right? That way.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. But if you know Python, right, getting to PySpark, it's not like 80%, it's the same code, the same way, everything is same. So you write the like pandas data frame, right? Similarly, there is a PySpark data frame.
Okay, so I mean, uh, I don't remember, but we had a BDS assignment on Spark, right?
Yeah, that's what I remember. I did set up, what I did know for that. I installed Ubuntu here on my Windows machine as a WSL, and
Okay.
that Ubuntu I installed Hadoop, okay, and also
Okay.
PySpark. And there I was writing a code on PySpark, executing on that Spark engine, but my all my data I kept it in the HDFS. So that's how I did the big data, and I think I gave demo also, few demos there.
Yeah, I remember. I have watched your video, and then I get a good grade in the assignment.
Yeah, I mean, not a grade, but as long as you understand, na, that is very important. So today I don't want to get into detail, but I was trying to see what exactly you want. No, I wanted to understand, and then
Yeah.
we can plan. And the best way I thought is if you go through this kind of this is free, right? I pinged you. You can go
Okay.
through. He explains Spark architecture very well, so you will know the background, and then it will show you also a few examples, and definitely we can in the next session now we can discuss some concepts. Probably you don't understand any concept now, we can discuss, and then accordingly we can plan next like which topics we want, or anything, any use case if you guys want to discuss. I think that would be more beneficial, no? Rather than I start like giving you the same concept.
Understood. Understood. Yeah, that would be better.
Yeah. Anyone? Any other questions? Or let me know if you want to if you want me to explain something now beforehand, so I can prepare also well. Probably with some example. I have to, I think, install PySpark first on my local machine. Then I can show you some of the things.
Hey, Yogesh, we are working currently with images, and
Sorry.
we are working with the images currently.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so there is an image data set that we want it to. Sorry, for example, there is an image data set, and we are training a model over that data set. So the catch is that paper implemented uh, through the Spark data pipeline. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to train the model that use the Spark data pipeline.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what we are trying to understand how that data pipeline flow will be.
I know, I know. See, in
Yeah.
this Databricks also, right? As I said, it will provide you very easy way to create a pipeline,
Okay.
and then you can see, Python notebooks, right? You
Yeah.
might have
Yeah.
used. Either you can use IDE where to write a code, or you can write a notebook.
Yeah.
Same thing in Databricks, you have a notebook, or even locally, you can write a notebook. The same Python code you can also execute on Spark, right? That same way. So
Okay.
you see, example, you have three notebooks. है ना? Each
Okay.
notebook, each notebook has some tasks to do, right? And
Okay.
say you want to do task one, after successful completion, then task two, and then task three. So
Okay.
in Databricks, it will give you very easy way to show you the pipeline, and very nice way you can do lot many things. Actually, last week only I completed my Databricks certification, which is
Okay.
uh, as a Databricks Data Engineer Associate. I'm just trying to understand, like say.
Yogesh, I just had a question. So here we have like a data intensive data set, right?
Mhm.
Image data set. And we have to build this pipeline to execute this code essentially trains the model. So do you suggest that PySpark, I mean Spark is better, or like if because this is a training set, is TensorFlow better for this? But
If
the even in the paper they've used Spark.
Mhm. Yeah, so how much is the data you are anticipating later on, or now in training also?
This is actually like images we are extracting from videos. So this,
Mhm.
I am guessing it will be, I am not sure about the exact number, but it will be huge
Mhm.
data set.
Yeah, I think if it is a huge na, I would suggest better go with Spark. So it will
Okay.
help to process it much faster.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, and then you can use the whatever your model. You can see you are anyways building in a Python, right? You are having code,
Yes. Yes.
but you just execute it on the Spark engine, like a PySpark.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is better one. It will speed up actually. It will help you to configure your cluster what you need, so that when the job finishes, that will be in your SLAs, right?
Yeah, but I'm just a little bit confused whether the uh, ML model capabilities they are better in TensorFlow is what I read. Uh, so for us, the aim of the project is to build a model, but the data is also heavy. So I was just confused about that.
I think you see Spark is the only you are providing the computational power, right? So
Yeah,
ultimately your code, where you are writing a code, you will import the TensorFlow library, right?
yeah,
And making some code, right? Logic there, which
yeah.
will refer the training set. I mean, you will build the model, correct? You will create
Oh,
a model, then you will do the training, correct?
yeah.
The TensorFlow you will use as is. See, TensorFlow
Oh,
is not
okay.
like a TensorFlow alternative to Spark. Huh? This is different.
Oh, okay. So we use this part for the compute and TensorFlow for
Mhm.
ML modeling as well.
Exactly. See, you have a Python program
Yeah.
using the TensorFlow to create a model and train, correct?
Yeah.
Just execute the same code, see, you might be currently executing on one machine, right? In Python's example. But if you want to speed up the thing, you can just use Spark cluster, right? And then
Okay.
it will be much faster.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
It is not an alternative to see, okay, it's TensorFlow or Spark.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
So
Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
you understood, right? So
Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
So it makes the ingestion faster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I also did one use case on my own where I did data breaks. I created a repository. I did a lot of things. So I created dummy data in the Azure. See, what I did was in the let me see if I have just a second. Checking if I get a diagram also I can d Twitter breaks. Yeah, I think I got it. I think I got it. I have this one. I'm just trying architecture. Okay, I'm putting it. So this is different. Hello. Hey guys, I have some guests coming. I think they are already here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
but let me quickly wind up. But we will discuss. 1 second. I'm just checking. This is my different project. Housing, no. Hey, I will back in 2 minutes. Guys, give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm back. I'm checking. Actually, I created a use case. I will also show you that. Credit lending app. Okay. You see this? You are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what I did was on the Azure, I created 3 containers: bronze, silver, gold. Okay, and one more container for the actual scripts.
Okay.
I created another Azure container where I kept some dummy data. Okay, another Azure container, and also I have kept
Yogesh,
some.
what is container? Sorry.
Oh, container is the kind, you can say, folder. In Azure storage account, you can create a folder, okay, and they call it as base folder is called as container, and you can create container and then folders, and you can keep your data. Like you know S3, right? In AWS, it's S3, correct? So same concept is
Yes,
container
yes.
in Azure.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, I created one ADF job, Azure Data Factory, which used to copy from on-premise client to my bronze layer, which is the raw data, and then another Azure container to my bronze container. The idea was to depict whatever different sources get the data and insert into raw layer. Now we want to maintain the raw layer also in case of tomorrow if something happens, right? Then I have the code, I have written the code, and that code is reading the bronze layer, do the cleaning and processing, and then writing into another folder called silver. Okay, and then final I have another script or a Python program file which will do read data from like clean data from silver layer, do the processing, do the aggregations and these things, and then it will write into the gold layer, the final data. And now this is the good data. It can be displayed using the dashboard, right? Or any business users. That was the very high level. And for this, I'm using the Databricks. This part is in Databricks here. So the data is still in ADLS in Azure, but I have a Databricks cluster which will be running, executing these scripts and processing this data from one to another folder like this. Just a very high level. Huh? I'm just trying to show you. If you want, I can show you. I think I don't have this setup now, but I can explain more also later on.
Okay. So the processing is happening on the Azure server, right? Where the
Yeah,
data is
no,
stored.
processing will happen on the Databricks cluster.
Okay.
Data
Okay.
is present in the storage account on Azure. It will remain there only.
Yeah.
So I have the code in Python. So that code will be executed on the cluster, and this cluster will run the code on the data. So it tells, okay, what data tables or whatever files to read from, apply the business logic, and then the final data to write in different folder.
Okay.
So
So
this is
processing is
also another
completely
way.
different than
Yeah.
the data, right?
Sorry.
Processing is kept entirely different.
Yes.
Uh,
Now you see here, it's completely decoupled. So data is stored in Azure storage account, right?
yeah.
And for the computation, I'm using Databricks cluster. It's completely
Okay.
different.
And the code is kept also in the Azure server, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
See
So,
example. Yeah.
ADF, does ADF have all the loader programs into Databricks? What does ADF do?
So ADF is a service in Azure. It will
Okay.
do copying data from one to another. It's like a ETL. You can set up ETL. So you
Okay.
can copy from any source to Azure actually. So that's the ADF service. It's one of the services in Azure only.
Okay. Got it.
So what I was trying to do in here now, using kind of this service, I'm trying to connect to different sources, right? And pull the data and get into my application. This is my application actually. So once
Okay.
I get the data in my application in the raw form, in the bronze layer, that's where my actual processing starts.
Okay. So, does ADF have the capability to add some processing in it? Like in our case, if we have a short video, which we would like to split into images, and add some logic to, like we have something called as micro blocks. Like we have to add some blocks on the image. So, so all of this processing, can that be done while it is I mean, when we get the video from the database, and then we have to add all of this processing somewhere, and then we need to load it into the actual data needs to be loaded into, for example, like the bronze layer here. So, can that processing be added in ADF?
No,
Or
no, it cannot do. You see, actually, I mean, ADF is mostly to pull the data and do. It can do some processing, but not this much custom processing. Okay. Now, whatever you want to do, right, it will be part of here actually. Here.
okay,
Silver to
okay,
gold. How? See, the bronze layer is supposed to get data as is from the external sources. Okay.
Okay.
And then once you have the raw data, then you will do the cleanup, right? Removing duplicates, cleanup, right? Those things.
Yeah.
And then you have your all your logic here, silver layer after that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So ADF is just pulling the data and all the
Pulling the
compute
data.
still
Yeah,
goes on to Databricks engine.
correct. It has
Okay.
some it does some processing, but not like so much processing. So whatever this processing you mentioned, right? You will write a script or multiple scripts,
Yeah.
and then you can execute it here.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah. See, what I'm trying to show you also some use case, like a real world use case. I want to do a real use case to use all the cloud sources, and this is something I had a interview, and they gave me a use case, and then I did all the things, and they said, yeah, it is too much that I did. So you see, this is Azure ADF pipeline.
Okay.
So see, I created a pipeline in ADF. It will bring the data from all the different entity, the collateral client. It will do the bronze to silver and silver to gold. So it's all it will show everything like this in ADF.
Okay.
And I don't know whether I have, okay, in Databricks I don't have it here. Yeah, but I think we can, I mean, I cannot show you because it's all the resources I deleted now, right? But if you want, I can explain in detail how I did, how I connected and those stuff. I have the code also. So those I did.
Yeah, you can
So
just
what we
share
will
the
do?
repo. We'll go through the code.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I will share the details. So what we will do, maybe in the next session, what I would like is, like, if you guys go through this YouTube one, right? Spark or the this course, and next time we will discuss, and then whenever you guys are ready, then I will explain the use case also that I just showed you.
Okay.
But if you want, I can just share today the link to my repository and see if you can go through that. And then if you
Yeah,
have any questions also, I can definitely answer there also.
yeah, you may please share, Yogesh. Maybe we can go through. If we are not able to understand, maybe next session we can cover that also.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
think that.
sure, sure. I will do that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I will share this. I have to check the repository link and everything. Oh, this is in the Azure actually. I don't know whether you have access, but I think I have also in my GitHub. So I will get that one. Huh? I will share you here only. Huh? Fine. I will share here or
Sure,
the which we have a group, right? There I will share.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I know you guys might be like expecting to do deep dive in Spark, but I was just thinking to understand exactly what you want. Maybe discuss at high level, and then next time we will deep dive. Huh? That way, I think this will helps, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
definitely.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, definitely Spark will be very good actually. Many high computation I use. I'm sure if you learn, it will be much more added value, guys. So you guys need anything here? I share the screenshot on this one. PySpark, Apache Spark programming in Python for beginners, and he will explain everything: architecture, what is data frame, what are sources, how you do the aggregations, how you read the data, how do the joins. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you have any questions, so let me know. I will share the repository link of that my use case sometime today later. Okay.
Sure, sure, Yogesh.
Sure, Yogesh. Thank you so much.
Okay. No problem, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Yogesh.
you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Yogesh.
And Manoj ji has a message for you, I guess, in the chat box.
After these sessions, your time do late sessions. Yeah. Certification, yes. Yeah, I can definitely. If you want, we can use this next sessions whenever you want. Let me know, and I will explain the some certifications, maybe related to Spark or related to the Databricks or related to Azure, because I did 5 Azure certifications, one Databricks certification, and 2 Python certifications.
Great, Yogesh.
In
I'm,
how many?
I'm, I'm planning next certification next week and 2 more certifications to next 2 3 weeks. So I just wanted to get this done.
Please guide us through as well.
Yeah, I will be happy. I mean, if I will definitely guide you the details of the certification, how I prepared, maybe some tips and these things. And if you have any other questions, also I will help you to know.
Thank you so much, Yogesh.
Yeah, we will discuss, huh? Maybe in the next session. Whenever you want, just let me know, remind me, and then I will show you the full certification path where you can read the free material, which courses I referred and found useful, how to take the exam. Those things are very good.
Sure, sure, Yogesh.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
All right, guys. Then Manoj, we will check on the group then, and then we will decide when we can meet next time. Huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, guys. Have a good weekend. Take
Uh,
care.
yeah.
Thank you.
Happy Yogesh.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.